All right. Everybody sits down. Oh, I like it when like nobody's speaking anymore. It's like I feel like you're the teacher in the room. And like, everybody shut up. Anyway, so I don't know from where we know each other, probably from Twitter, like everybody else. And then we followed each other, and then I followed that you were at Microsoft, and then there was this very interesting also conference that you guys did, this offline online conference, like yeah, TechSRS. And it was interesting. I saw also Alex was speaking there. We were speaking about this yesterday. There is less light here in front of the speakers, so it should be better with like sweating. And I'm very excited to see what Manu is going to speak to today. So round of applause and let's start.
Hi. Now, so as you're all tired from eating and yeah, you're now easy targets for me. What I want to do this next couple of minutes is I want to take you back to the playgrounds emotionally. Means, I can use this thing, right? Yes. We all love playgrounds, right? We got there, we socialized without even knowing what socializing is. We hurt ourselves, we learned a lot. We just had fun, we got excited. And really, we still love it. So we still love to excite ourselves. It gets worse with age and, you know. But coding actually is a lot like playing. So we explore stuff because we mostly need to explore stuff because we need it in our jobs. But we learn, we try, we fail, and we learn. And everything of those, so all of those things are tied together with pure excitement. So from my perspective, because I really love tech, I really love exploring. And think back, I don't know, many of you are at the equal age I am. I moved a turtle around the screen 20 years back from now, or 25 years, God. So that's a turtle graphics over there. I learned basic. I learned with drawing how to code. And this is how kids nowadays, or kids, I used it too, play with Lego Mindstorms and click together logic for physical things to move them, to program them and to give them life. So it's completely exciting. And it's frustrating on the other side, definitely too, because when we learn, we fail, and to really stand up afterwards, after we fail, is hard sometimes. But why is this so? I think it's documentation. So it's missing, it's incomplete, it's outdated, it's wrong, it's absurd. Pick one, no? You need to understand the technology you're using. And we as coders, we need documentation for this. And that's why we use playgrounds. So we can hook up a playground and just immediately get started. We can immediately try something out. We can immediately explore things. And I think we can use playgrounds and playground books, which are new with iOS 10 and Xcode 8, a lot for documentation, for coding documentation, so how we can teach how to use our stuff to other coders. So how many of you know playgrounds? How many of you use playgrounds on a regular basis? Cool, very cool. How many of you used or tried or toyed around with the playground books? Okay, thinner. Good. So as everybody knows playgrounds, or the most of you knows playgrounds, it's a lot like exploring, getting quickly started, just try something out without creating a new project, setting it up, making a simple user interface to just get things started. You really can go now when you start a new playground. So you can literally get your hands on, because they're interactive, so you can do everything with them, nearly everything with them. We have them around for a couple of years now, and with iOS 10 we got the thing for the iPad. And it gives us much more freedom, much more editorial richness, but we see this right later. What you can do with playgrounds, everybody of you knows. We don't have to go in there in depth because it's quite boring, but a really cool thing, which mostly of you might not know, is that you can hide code. And that's most important when we come later to the playground box. So you really can focus what you want to tell the reader, the user of your book, of your playground, first on a very high level, and then really zoom in. You first can just say, okay, let's try this out. Let's choose a picture here. And then hit the run button and see what happens. And afterwards, when the user or the reader first sees this, he can go to the next page and then you say, okay, cool, here's the function you just used. This is under the hood. And then you can dive deeper. And that's a really awesome thing. So hiding code is one of a really underestimated feature, I would say, but it's a really good one. Nice. Okay, so how does the playground look? You might know too, the most important is the structure here. We have different pages, so that was not given from the beginning. This is a feature which came, I don't know, a year ago. You can put, as I thought, so many pages in there as you like, but Dominic told me something else. When you hit over 50, I think it was a lot, then everything gets a little bit tricky with, for Xcode, and it dies. So you have pages. Within these pages, you have always two folders, a source folder and a resource folder. And everything which is not code goes into the resource folder. Everything else, so the code itself, to the source folder. And you have on the very root level sources in the resource folder too, which is kind of public to all pages. And then you can stuff your own source and resources for one page only, so you can kind of privately make your code privately available for just one page. So with everything else, you know, you have your editor, you have your result view in the middle, you have the UI view, your controller, what you want to show, what you just coded, seeing on the right. And it's always constantly, when you change something, compiled and executed. So what are playground books then? They are kind of the perfect place for exploring and learning, I thought, is a good term for it, but what they are really complex. They are kind of playgrounds 2.0, but with lots of overhead. So there are some downsides, but the upsides are you have an always on live view. And this is not just I see what I just compiled. So this thing is completely running in a different thread, in a different process. It's living its own life, kind of. And when you want to use this always live view, you have to conform to a communication protocol. And this is tricky and a bit more complex. You are able to organize your content in chapters and pages, and you have different kinds of pages. You have cutscenes where you can, when you are skilled in web development, HTTP, CSS thingies, then you can completely go crazy. You can put everything in there, what you can think of. And the playground pages are what you know. There you put your code in. Yeah, and you can style the appearance. This will be important as soon as you see how it looks like on the iPad. So you really can make a cover, title it, you can reset it. That's very, very interesting too, because when I give my playground, my documentation to you, and you change something in there, you're not able to reset it. With a playground book, you can reset a single page or the whole book. So back to 0, I want to start over again. So that's a nice thing. Good, this is how it looks. First, what do you notice? No previews. There is no preview, so there is not even compilation help. I even had problems, but this could be the beta of Xcode. Not even code completion in here. I don't know why. So what you're doing, you write code, then you transfer it over to your iPad with airdrop, most easy version, and then run it there. Then you have errors, you go back to Xcode. So that's the current workflow. Uncool, very, but I hope they will make it better. What you see here, hopefully, you have the chapters, which have the extensions playground chapter. In these chapters, there are pages with the ending cutscene page or playground page. And you have the obvious resource and source folders. What you have additionally are manifest files. Those areplists. I come back to this in a second. So they're complex. And this is what it looks like when you debug your code. You have a lot of versions on your iPad from the single playground book because you have no other way how to execute it. So no preview, you have those plists and the separate communication. And the separate communication is really kind of complex because you're limited to the data types you can transfer over with this live view proxy, how it's called. But first things first, manifest plists are looking like this. You really have to describe what's in your playground book in those files. You have to say, okay, my playground book has 4 chapters with the following name, dot playground chapter. So what's before the dot is the name which shows up on your on the iPad itself. Then you have to define this for the page, and you have to define this for, let me have a look. For the page, yeah, a lot, basically. And there's a little help from Ash Furo. I don't know if you know him. He released last week the first good working version of a playground book linter. So you just enter there how your chapters should be named, which pages are in there, and in the end you get a ready-to-use skeleton for your playground book. So you don't have to do this plist stuff on your own. Good. The always-on live view. You don't have to use this. If you want to make a playground book which behaves kind of the same like you used from Playgrounds, where you have to hit the run button to refresh what you see on the preview site, then you just can go how you're used to currently. So you just make an instance of your view controller, which you fill with UI elements, and then just assign to the live view from the current page everything you know. But if you really want to have this live view in their own separate thread, doing things like you saw at the WWDC preview with this little labyrinth and the little guy who could walk and who could collect gems, then you need to do exactly this for communicating with your live view over there. And this is done with the live view proxy. As I said before, you really have to, don't think of I can send over a UR image there or a UI color or whatever. You can't. You have to use those playground values. And those playground values are our basic data types: string, integer, float, boolean, and additionally data and date. I don't know why date. So data is NS data, so the new data, and those can be grouped into arrays or dictionaries. So that's it. If you want to send over from your code to the live view an image, for example, so that's the problem I ran into, you really have to convert it to a data object, put it in a playground value, play it over to the live view, and make it a UI image there again. So that's the workflow. What you have too, there's a little helper. You have a key value store per page, so you can save some data you might use there. So how does the communication work in depth? On the upper side, you see what you have to implement to be able to send something from your playground, which you are editing on your iPad, over to the live view. So you have to cast your live view to a playground remote live view proxy, back again, long names, and just use the send function. And be aware, you can just send playground values there. So that's it. Then it's handed over to the live view, where it can be processed. you have a receive function there which you can override and get your playground value there. But when you want to send something from the live view back to your playground, then you have to go a bit further. You have to implement your own, you have to do your own implementation from playground remote live view proxy delegate, and implement the method remote live view proxy receive message there. So there, everything lands what the live view is sending over to you, to your playground. And then you can do whatever you like with those values. And this live view proxy delegate, you need to assign to the proxy itself, so to your live view, to your page, and then it's done. So it's quite a bit of overhead, and it feels limiting. I had this one use case for sending over a color and the image, and to really transform this before I can send it over, yeah, hard. You're not able to really access properties from your live view, which is running over there, from your object, from the playground. So that's not possible. You really have to use this proxy. Otherwise, you get a, I don't know, permission denied message. So that's not possible at all. Good. So much for playgrounds. So we have a tool now. We have a tool where we can create documentations, where we can create tutorials, kind of, for other people. So now comes the fun stuff. What can be taught with those playgrounds? And I thought, let's go with cognitive services. I love them because you can do such a lot with them. It's an API collection where you can do a lot with vision, with speech, language, knowledge, search. We don't go through all of this because I just wanted to focus on the fun part. And those are computer vision, emotion, and face. And video is kind of baked in because we can detect emotions from videos. So to just give you a little oversight, we won't dive in depth. So if any one of you is interested in this stuff, just talk to me later. I'm really happy to talk about it. But I want to show you just a quick overview what you're capable of, because we will use this right afterwards on the iPad. So with computer vision, you can analyze an image. You can describe it. You can make thumbnails of it, which seems trivial, but there are pretty cool use cases for this, and you can OCR things. So we will just have a look at the analyze image API call. What you can do there, you can tell the API, please give me back visual features and details for a certain image I give to you. And this looks like this. When you upload a picture, which I didn't post here, you just read the data and you know what's on this picture, because the API even tries to give you a real caption of this thing based on the data it already analyzed and collected. So this is, it's not advertisement for Microsoft per se, but we have Satya Nadella sitting on a bench. So you have an image of this image in your head immediately. And when you see when you have a look at the data, you see you have a category named people. The score is always the confidence level. So how confident is the API to really see this and tell you this, that this is on the image. A detail could be, this is a real celebrity. So we have a celebrity detection, which works, for example, I tried it with Metallica. Band, group photos, works too, really awesome. So, but that's not the most awesome thing. The most awesome thing, I think, are the tags. So you have there a person, man, outdoor, window. All those things might be on this picture, and you have the confidence here too. So you can say, okay, I show everything to the user above 90% security, and then it really works quite well. We have a lot of cool examples. What was it? I think a picture of Schweizer Käse, of cheese, and the API told you that those are 2 giraffes on this picture. So it's kind of funny, but the confidence level of these 2 giraffes are cheese, yeah, was just 14%. So that's pretty low. So you can filter on yourself, or get your own confidence level on those on those results. So there's quite more to computer vision. Describe, get thumbnail, OCR. Really have a look at it. Those are cool, but we won't dive into this right now because it would take way too long. So let's head over to Emotion API. Really fun stuff can be done with this. So we can really analyze emotions of faces, human faces. Animals don't work. I've tried it. In images, in videos, and in rectangles. And we will focus on images. It's still beta, so be patient with the results. So it's pretty easy to use. You just send a photo via the API call recognize and get back something like this. You have a face rectangle, which is quite accurate above the eyebrows, below the face corners, and ends with the chin. So that's the face rectangle. And you get a score back of 9 different emotions where contempt and disgust are currently, I think, experimental, they call it, and the results are really partly experimental. But you have a score for anger, for fear, happiness, neutral, sadness, and surprise. And as you see later in the demo, it really works really, really well. But just with faces which look into the camera quite straight and with a little tilt. So when I'm standing like this and you see one eye of my face, then it's over. So no face can be detected and no emotion can be detected. So that's a really fun thing to use, especially what you can make with it. There is a lot more to emotion. You can detect emotions in videos. So you upload a video and you get back a video operation result because it takes time to analyze the faces and the according emotions in these videos. As soon as the operation result tells you success, you can enter the, you can fetch the results. And the results are really enormous. So you see on what timestamp, what might be frame the face was detected with emotion. So you have over the whole video a history of the emotion of a certain face. So that's quite cool. And what you can do too, that's kind of an edge case, I think. You can ask the API for a picture, for a single picture. What's in this rectangle? Is there an emotion in this rectangle? Immediately, I couldn't think of a use case, but it's there. And last but not least, a very cool thing is the Face API, where you can detect, verify, identify, and find similar faces. And verify and identify are pretty interesting. I could go there in depth, but let's focus on the detect face first. There you can ask a lot from the API. So you send a picture there and say, okay, I want to have a face ID. This face ID will be permanent. You can say, I want to have face landmarks. Face landmarks are really coordinates in the face where the pupil is, where the upper lip starts and ends, where the lower lip starts and ends. Has the person glasses? Has the person facial hair? And there is a separation between mustache, beard, sideburns. So you can read a lot of the faces and it works astonishing well. We will see this in the demo in detail. And the data to it looks like this. You have face attributes. As soon as you tell the API, yes, please retrieve me some, you get the age, the gender, the smile, the grade of the smile. Freaky. You get the facial hair, you get the glasses. We have reading glasses, sunglasses, so different kind of glasses too. And a very experimental thing, the head pose. So you can say how, in which grade the head is tilted. So that's a pretty nice thing too. Additionally to this, you get the face rectangle, sure, and coordinates of, I don't know, 26 or 27 face landmarks. I've visualized this in the demo, so be patient a bit, then we are there. What you can do too is with verify and identify, you can set up kind of a face recognition authentication process. So you can create, so first you detect the face, then you create a person, put the face on this person, so on this person object, and then throw this person object into a person group. Yeah? For better understanding, I drew you a picture. So you have over here a detection of the face. Then you create a person, attach the face to the person. This you can do a lot of times because you have to train the persons, then add them to the person's group, and afterwards, when you analyzed, I don't know, 150, 500 pictures of your family, for example, you can throw a picture in of your family, the faces are detected, they are verified against the group, and then the API tells you, hey, this is mom, dad, and Lisa. So, nice thing, very nice thing, but you have to have a really good train group. And the train group starts with, let's say, 16 to 30 faces for one person. Then it works really well. So you have a good training group. Good. Now, let's bring those things together. We have a tool, we have our playgrounds, and on the other hand, we have the fun stuff. And those two together is a demo. So, let's have a look if everything works probably as I wanted to. Yes. So over here, first thing, really take care. As soon as you are hitting up the movie recording on QuickTime Player, you have 0941 and 100% of power. Yeah? That's fake, especially the power. So what you see here is I created a Kickstart Cognitive Services playground. So this playground can be executed on Xcode as well as on the iPad app. Exactly, completely the same code base. And it looks like this. First steps with Playground. So you have your text. I have hidden code. I just wanted to make visible the code you see here. And then you can tap and choose cool pictures. So this guy. Then I can change here, looking awesome. I have a color picker, so those are literals. You maybe know them already because they're there for about a year and a half. I can change colors, and here I have a picker where I can set background alpha 5, okay. And then I run my code. And this is the most significant thing. I have to hit this button to see something on the right side, to see my live view. So this is no separate running process I have with the books, so it's really static, so it stays there. It can't do anything on its own, so it's really just interpreting things which are happening on the left side. But there's more. We have those linkings, we can jump to next, we can jump to previous. Here again, we try to describe a picture, and there it starts. Under the hood, there's an API called to the Cognitive Services API, and this picture here, I think we should use this. This is good. As you see, it's a harbor, a lot of cargo containers, and I say with a confidence of, oh, what the heck, show me all. I want to have the text, the description for this image. And as you see, I get back sky, outdoor, cargo container, and harbor. So that's quite accurate. But as soon as I change over here the confidence to be pretty sure, then it gets thinner. Then he just says, oh, I don't know if containers, so just sky and outdoor, I'm sure of. So this is a very easy way to really get people out there hands-on with your own technology. You don't have to code anything here. You just execute it. And what I could have done here is, on the next page, show the API call, how it's really done. Yeah. Good. And on the next, because we want to run an emotion check so that you see this too. That was an idea Alex came up with because we made a workshop on those things a couple of months ago, and we just mapped, and there's the emojis. Yeah? We just mapped emotions, which is the most confident emotion of this face, to which is of this person, and mapped it to an emoji. And this works quite well. So I can enter some here. So this guy is, we're not sure is he smiling or not. Ask the API. Nah, not so. So that's a nice thing. You know, you're using an API, doing nothing for it, and can toy around with it. And the cool thing is, think of someone who can't code and just wants to think of what's possible. Is my idea possible to implement? And you can give this person such a playground book or a playground and say, hey, just try it out. So really do your prototyping here. And the last thing, the face. Let's run it too. So you see the face landmarks here. We have a lot of dots. I hope this is seeable in the back. You have the eyebrow, outer and inner points. You have the pupil. You have exact coordinates where the eyes are. So now you know how Google Hangouts do the fun stuff with your face. You have the face rectangle, and additionally, I get back attributes. I wanted to have details on this face. Male, 27, reading classes, mustache. Kind of fits. So much for the playgrounds itself on the iPad. When it comes to playground books, you can do things like this. Style your first look on your book. So it's not just the plain dove on the item. You could really style it. And you can things like, you see I'm a complete web hero. That's all I could accomplish. Text, background image, done. But that's a cutscene. And I can add those cutscenes wherever I want to in my playground to just introduce something, to give infos on the following things, to describe something. And you can do animations in there too. So that's quite fun. And what we have here, this is my always on live view on this side. And you see it already shows something, but we didn't touch code right now. So this process is on itself. And on the other side, just when I run my code, now the image and the color of the text, I think, got transferred over the live proxy and is shown on my live view. So that's done here. But the process is running on itself. But everything else is quite the same. So I didn't change a lot of code here because everything else is as you're using it on your playground too. Another cutscene. We can do here exactly the same like before. Where's the cargo here? And the API calls are completely the same. So I didn't touch the whole REST calls. I have it in a separate Swift file, and this is executed in the playground book as well as in the playground. No changes, not at all. But same outcome, basically. And I could do things over there constantly without having the user run my code hidden. And very interesting is this here. You have your table of contents, where you see get started, computer vision, emotion, faces are my chapter names. And in there are my pages. The cutscenes are introduction, very creative. And the rest is described in the manifest plist files how your pages are exactly called. So, and that's it basically. It looks quite equal, but you can do a lot more out of it. We have here basically exactly the same with a few bugs, as you see here. Deleted, enter here. So they are not working that well currently. But it's completely the same. Actually, yeah, he's still not happy. What should we do? Okay, so that's it. I have one more little thing for you, because I was so excited when I saw this. It's so cute, and this is something where we can make our own technology, our own apps, our things we make a little bit more human with face recognition, emotion recognition, describing what's around me. So we can really help machines see what we feel, what we are. And that's a really nice thing. And Disney thought this too. So there's a Disney research group. I think that's the best job in the world, developing things like this. And this is teleservices robot. who can interact with people. And he first shows you a trick, which he learned quite well. He throws, cool, yay. And then he gets fooled a little bit. So there's his favorite toy, it's Pooh the Bear. But she doesn't give it to him, and now he's sad. He doesn't trust her anymore, now he has it. And guess what? Is totally excited about it. So those are nice things. I really love to see such things. Basically, that's all I have. I pasted a whole lot of sources together. Everything you need to know for cognitive services, for playgrounds to get you started. I have everything on my GitHub page, so you can download all the stuff I just showed to you. And merci.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much. It was awesome. Questions? Do we have questions?
Thank you so much for all this information. One thing I missed, I was too lazy to read about it. What's the publishing process for the playground books? Do you know?
TBD. We don't know anything about this yet.
So I didn't miss it. It's just.
No, you didn't miss it.
It's not yet, so. There are any other questions?
Maybe today in the evening, who knows?
Yeah, iPhone 7. Andreas, can you just like, you know what, Dominic? I'm with a quote. We're still excited for tonight. The Apple Store is closed, by the way. Yeah. I just wanted to say again.
So, you said that you can hide code in the playground.
Yeah.
And you said you can use the same playground on the Mac. So you can do you know if you can hide code in the playground on the Mac as well?
No. The documentation tags, which you know of, they are interpreted, but the hide code is just the tag in the editor.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's not possible by now.
Thanks.
All right. Next question.
Still tired from food.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard one. I'm sure there's still some dessert, by the way. So
let's give him a break.
Yeah, let's take a break. Let me look at the timing. We're doing pretty fine, actually. So let's be back here in like 15 minutes, or potentially even 20, whatever. Thank you. Round of applause, obviously. Yeah, awesome.